No home wins, no money to spend, and Liverpool are in town. Now the bad news for Dave Bassett on his home debut. Half a dozen key Leicester players are missing too. Izzet, Rowett and Gunlausen have joined the casualty list in his first week in charge. He can recall Frank Sinclair to defence after suspension, but he's forced to choose Trevor Benjamin on the left of midfield for the first time in the striker's career. An injury to Stephen Onshow forces one of three changes to Liverpool's Kiev lineup. Stephen Wright starts a Premiership game for the first time. Jamie Redknapp starts a Premiership game for the first time in almost 18 months. And Robbie Fowler starts alongside Leicester old boy Emil Heskey. Leicester City did beat Liverpool here last season. They went fifth in the Premiership table that day in March, but have been in free fall ever since. All their vital statistics are damning ones at the moment, but nearly 9 hours of football without a single goal is undoubtedly top of their problem page. Rescues are us. Dave Bassett asked to save another football skin. It's enticingly in towards Emil Heskey. Alert defending by Frank Sinclair. Good control from Gary McAllister, and then he just lost his footing. So Robbie Savage has conceded a needless corner. It's often the tame ones like that which seem to create the most damage for a defending team. Liverpool certainly have options with Hupia right up alongside Ian Walker and McAllister to deliver. Found a way to Risa, good save by Walker, and Robbie Fowler has put Liverpool in front with less than 4 minutes played. It is his first Premiership goal of the season. Walker did what he could to keep out Risa, who was completely unmarked, but Robbie Fowler, in Robbie Fowler territory, poached the goal. Risa just had a free swing at it there. Walker really made a wonderful save, but Fowler was the first to react. Always looking for that kind of opportunity, and today taking that kind of opportunity. But why was John Arne Risa allowed that amount of freedom to shoot? Back to worse for Leicester. Good to hear the name of Gerard Houllier echoing round Filbert Street. Liverpool fans very mindful of the part their early manager has played in all of this. The well wishes continue to pour Gerard Houlier's way. The camera lens begins to focus on his babysitter, Phil Thompson. Dealt with this time by Akinbaye. Murphy says to McAllister, try again. Risa. Just clipped by Benjamin. As much as Leicester can do just to keep Liverpool at arm's length by fair means or foul at present. McAllister, a master of delivery. Got Hupia to aim at amongst others, and Hupia's there, and Liverpool lead by 2-0. And already 10 minutes into the afternoon, you wonder how many they're going to score. They have strolled into a 2-goal lead here. Full marks to McAllister for the accuracy of the ball in, but it only just cleared Steven Gerrard in order to reach the head of Sami Hupia. His first Premiership goal of the season. Doubles Liverpool's lead and doubles the misery for Leicester City. Hupia to Murphy, and now Heskey. Gerrard popping up on the left-hand side. Redknapp, Heskey. Risa hugging the touchline. Gerrard in support. Run away from Murphy, but Liverpool can afford the odd slip here. Right. Davidson to Sturridge. Let it run. Akinbaye's got beyond Hurpier. Adi Akinbaye. And that's the way it's been going for Akinbaye and for Leicester. A prime chance for Leicester's leading goal scorer of last season, but a man who's heard these catcalls on more than one occasion of this season. Benjamin did well in the end. Jones to Marshall. Now Savage. Leicester trying to build on the encouragement of at least creating a good chance. Hurpier out as far as Jones. Exchanging passes with Savage. It was a meaty hit from Matt Jones. Just pulled wide of Jerzy Dudek's right-hand post. It didn't test the Liverpool goalkeeper. Offside. Redknapp played right into trouble. Savage got it back. Redknapp's foot was a little high, and the referee's reaching for his notepad. Well, I don't think there was anything particularly malicious about Redknapp just reacting to a bouncing ball. Easy to see just how high his foot actually was. Waist height. Yellow card for the Liverpool club captain. Wise looking to tee up Davidson standing alongside him, who looks to feed those big men forward. One of them, Elliott, with a header down. Akinbaye. Well, he was under pressure from Hurpier, but Adi Akinbaye did have a bit of a slash at it. Ball skewing off the outside of his boot, up and wide. Sinclair. Akinbaye just behind Sturridge. Did well to stand his ground against Hurpier, but now Marshall has a problem. And Murphy is on the ball, and he has plenty of support, including Robbie Fowler, and Liverpool lead by 3-0. And it is impossible to see a way back for Leicester City now. Robbie Fowler with an opportunity to fill his boots here this afternoon against a demoralised Leicester City team. Scores for the second time. Poor Lee Marshall couldn't quite control the ball or keep his footing. Certainly Danny Murphy kept his head, and Fowler does what he does best, knocking the ball through Ian Walker with his left foot. Well, they're heading for a half-time cup of tea, I suspect, rather than for the cars, but nonetheless, they must feel as if they've seen enough. McAllister. Fowler. That's cleverly played to Parisa, just beyond Redknapp. Only as far as Parisa. Savage managing to win it back now. Wise. Gerrard. Liverpool didn't appear to have made the most of their bullet start. 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes, followed by a rather careless spell, but Leicester City couldn't capitalise. Robbie Fowler certainly could capitalise, and that's why Liverpool lead by 3-0 at half-time at Filbert Street. Started with a 5-0 home defeat to Bolton. Leeds scored 6 here in the Worthington Cup tie a fortnight ago. You do fear for their record books if Liverpool are in a mood to push home their advantage. They have a new attacking factor in the shape of Patrick Berger, who has replaced Steven Gerrard during the half-time interval. Gerrard complaining of a calf trouble, and Murphy switched to the right-hand side as a result. Here's Berger getting involved with Savage. Wise, upended by Redknapp. Sinclair. Back in by watching it carefully. Berger managed to get himself into pole position, but has conceded a corner kick. Back in by did score in the win over Liverpool here in March. Certainly stuck at it. It's been a game display from the Leicester frontman. And the header has fallen finally for Marshall. He was under pressure when he struck the volley. The flick might have come off a Liverpool head. Copious header. Jones. Akinbai. Now Wise. In P. Davidson with the overlapping run. In towards Dennis Wise! At long last, a goal for Leicester City. It's Dennis Wise's first for the club. It's Leicester City's first goal for the best part of 10 hours of football. Beautifully created too. Callum Davidson getting in behind Liverpool, and Wise just guiding his header beyond the dive of Jerzy Dudek, and maybe restoring Leicester City's interest in this game, but certainly breaking a duck which has been going on for far too long. 17th of September, the last time Leicester City scored. Impey was fouled there by Murphy. Nearly 5 weeks have passed, and 2 managers since Leicester City scored. Dave Bassett at least has been able to end that sequence today with the help of Dennis Wise. Marshall's long and optimistic shot, but there is some optimism again in the Leicester City ranks. Savage has played Davidson in here, just a little strong, was it? No, he's kept it in. Davidson's cross, 3 in the middle, Dudek has to punch. Savage in towards Akinbai, it came off Risa. It's a corner kick to Leicester City. Well, they have half an hour here to perform a miracle, but they've made a start. Wise takes. Click on by Benjamin Akinbai. Well, it isn't happening for him. Strikers are judged on the goals they score, and he has had a hat-trick of opportunities today and a hat-trick of misses, and you can hear what the Leicester City fans think of the man for whom £5 million of this club's money was paid. All I can say in his defence is he has stuck at it. It's been a game display by Akinbai. Jones in firmly, getting the benefit of the doubt. Savage on. Here goes Akinbai again. That's what he has done. He's made himself a handful for Liverpool to deal with at times. Akinbai's persistence is what won that corner. Wise will take. In towards Benjamin again. Might come here from Marshall. Forced away by Berger. Savage Elliott is still forward. The jump was by Murphy, the clearance by McAllister. The Liverpool have been able to do everything pretty much in their own time, at their own pace, are now being stretched and asked questions. Impey to Jones. Here's Andrew Impey again. Good challenge by Gary McAllister. Redknapp trying to set up a counter. Berger to Murphy. Here's Patrick Berger again. Fowler's made a run down the centre. Murphy free to his right though. McAllister joining in. Here's Risa. Hooked in towards Heskey. Just couldn't guide it down to Fowler, and Davidson is able to scurry forward with the ball. Nice interchange between Redknapp, Berger and McAllister. Redknapp steps away from Sinclair, feeds it through. Heskey able to turn. Well, he was forced just a little wide by Elliott, and that was probably as much as he could do from that kind of angle. It was a good shot across the face of the goalkeeper and only missed by a couple of feet. Backing by, just caught a little flat-footed, and he has won a throw-in from right. Savage. Marshall's cross. Headed away by Stephen Wright. Seized upon by Robbie Savage. Play behind him. P. Piper couldn't reach it. Berger could. What a good ball though. Marshall back into the danger area. Benjamin on. Here's Dennis Wise once more. Carragher stood his ground well. And the ball bounced through to Jerzy Dudek. Well, Dennis Wise had a sight of goal there once more. Murphy getting himself in front of back in mind. Savage has won it back though. Now Piper. Wise taking over. Wise's cross. Headed by Hoopier. Savage back in there. Way by Carragher. Berger carefully up to Fowler. And now Heskey. And now a break from Danny Murphy. And he has got options to his right here, Murphy. Smitsa. Cool Liverpool break. But after all that smooth into passing, a rather rushed, miss-hit shot from Vladimir Smitsa. Yari Letman is on. Letman. Right. Emil Heskey's had 4 reunions with Leicester City since leaving here for £11 million. 2 defeats, and now it looks like the second win. Right was there. Davidson's throw. Benjamin managed to force it on. It might come to Savage. Really good challenge by Sami Hoopier. Who's probably been Liverpool's outstanding player today. It said something for Leicester City's efforts. He enjoys that kind of confrontation too. Inside the last 5 minutes, looking at play 2-1-2. Savage to Piper. A little isolated on this touchline, looking to run Risa. Well, he's got himself a throw-in. Could have been a corner. Cannoned off the corner flag. The right side of it as far as Liverpool are concerned. Central looking to launch one. Piper. Savage. Elliott is there. Might not quite come for Benjamin. He might still get an opportunity. Wright was the defender on the ground. Liverpool felt the play should have been stopped. It's been stopped now in favour of a Leicester City corner. Trevor Benjamin just had a couple of sights of goal. Ball came off Carragher. Oh, well, he definitely had a bit of a tug at Wright. But play was allowed to continue and Carragher had to concede the corner. Dudek Slaley. Away by Berger. Sinclair. On goes Frank Sinclair, past the second. Good cross to Benjamin's head. Akinbaye! Well, if he could disappear into a hole in the ground rather than into that sweat-stained Leicester City shirt of his, I think that's where Adi Akinbaye would like to go right now. He hasn't been the sum total of Leicester City's problems at all today. But the fact that the opportunities they've created come to a man for whom goals just seem to have dried up. Spin forward by Wright. Here's Lippmann. Sweetser goes on. Turned into Robbie Fowler! What a way to complete a hat-trick. The crispest of volleys to bring the widest of smiles to the face of Robbie Fowler, who has opened his Premiership account this afternoon with his 10th Liverpool hat-trick. He's had to wait until the closing moments for the closing goal of the three. But what a lovely finish. Calmly steered, really, at waist height from Vladimir Smitzer's cross. Liverpool lead by 4-1. More medicine for the manager. Liverpool victorious. That seemed an inevitability after their 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes. The fact that Leicester did manage to put some second-half doubts in their minds will encourage Dave Bassett. At least they've scored a long overdue goal. It's just that Robbie Fowler scored 3, and Liverpool have won this Barclaycard Premiership fixture by 4-1. You are a pretty self-critical type. What have you felt about your form and fitness so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it all along. I've not been happy with it. I mean, I've tried to knuckle down, and I mean, at times I've probably tried too hard. I mean, today, you know, I've scored 3 goals, but you know, I've done a lot of sloppy passes. So, you know, you're always open for criticism, and you know, I mean, I'll go home and my dad's my biggest fan, you know, and he'll tell me that I've gone wrong, you know. So it's getting stick to him, and that keeps me, you know, my toes.
You know, Robbie's been searching for fitness. He was a bit sharper today, but dare I say it, he can get better, and he has to get better. He has to get sharper.
There is a time, though, when you know, obviously everyone does get criticism. I mean, I'm like everyone else, I do get it, but sometimes, you know, there's only so much a player can take. You know, I have had a lot, you know, and I mean, there's always you know, people who'll support me as well. So I think that's you know, good for it as well. I think that's you know, that's better for me than a lot of criticism.